Hi, this is Pastor Rick. Glad you're with me today. I want to focus on one word. The word is pressing. Philippians chapter 3 is where we've been studying for a while. And I want to take you through the two verses here that we've been covering. I want you to hear what it says. Paul starts out by saying, I have not arrived. I'm not there. I'm not perfect. He says, verse 13, brothers and sisters, I do not consider myself yet to have taken hold of it. But one thing I do, forgetting what is behind and straining toward what is ahead, I press toward the goal to win the prize. I want to stop there. This is the guy who understood sports. And in my teaching on this week, I want you to think about the one focused word here in our study that he uses, press. He understood that athletes have to press to get to their destination, especially runners. There's that press, well, any sport really. And there's this clear sense of a goal he's got in mind. There's a clear sense of passion and all. But notice what he says. In order to get to the prize, you have to press. There's no guarantee that you're going to get to the prize if you're not willing to press. Now, he prefaced this by saying two other things. You have to learn how to forget, right? Forgetting what's behind you. Can't get stuck in the past. Number two, you have to learn how to be a person who reaches. You have to have some goals you're reaching for. And thirdly, he says you've got to be the kind of person who presses. I mean, you got to have grit. Grit is a wonderful, wonderful book by Duckworth who talks about the idea of perseverance and passion. That's what grit is. In order for you to reach the prize, there is a moment of pressing. And I understand that. I'm telling you. There are moments in my life when I felt that I wanted something, but the price tag I wasn't really willing to pay. I often say people go to the grocery store of dreams, right? And they walk in the grocery store and they put all this stuff in the buggy. I want to be this. I want to be that. I want to have 4 kids. I want to have this. I want to be a lawyer. I want to be a doctor. I want to be. And you put it all in the buggy, and when it's time to go check out, you don't have the grit. You're not willing to pay the price. I used to work in a grocery store when I was a teenager. I bagged groceries, right? And so you'd go there and you'd bag up 15 bags, I'm exaggerating, of groceries, and the person wouldn't have the money to pay for it. So you'd have to take it all out of the bag and go back and put it all on the shelf because they didn't have the money to pay for it. And sometimes, it stays with me even now. When I go to the grocery store, I've got to have enough money. When I first got married to Diane, we were really broke, right? And Diane would go around the grocery store, and she would calculate on paper how much everything was in the taxes. And I said, hey, no, if it's $30, I need $50 in my pocket because I don't have the emotional stability to get up to that counter and not be able to pay for it. But in life, we do that all the time. We want this, we want that, but when it's time to pay the price of parenting, you don't want to pay it. When it's time to pay the price of starting a business, you don't want to pay it. When it's time to pay the price, you struggle with that. But I understand that because I've struggled with it. But that's where the press comes in. I press, I strain, I lean in. And that's what I want you to consider doing today. Not giving up, not being frustrated, not being angry. Lean in and press. You have to try. But now I'd also ask you to do this. Reconsider what you're doing. Could it be you're trying to do too much? Could it be you set a goal to be an Olympian? You want an Olympic style prize and you need to get a local one. Maybe you don't need to be an Olympic runner, you need to be a local runner. Maybe you don't need to do some of the things you're trying to do. I have been guilty of pressing myself too hard. I've been guilty of not saying, oh, Temple, listen, that's too much money. Some of you need to hear me today. You're going too far, too fast. Slow your train down just a little bit. And let me pray for you. Father, let this be a moment of breakthrough for them. Healing, grace, and wisdom. Let them hear today the message they need to hear. May it transform their heart, inspire them to press forward with balance and maturity. And let them say no to some things they need to say no to, and yes to some things they need to say yes to. In Jesus' name. My name is Pastor Rick. I've enjoyed being with you. I'll see you next time. Hope I sharpened you a little bit. Stay sharp. See you next time. Bye-bye.